This video is specifically for my Toronto area B'nai Noach group, Noahide group that I've been a part of for over 5 years, and even especially with one particular member in mind named Daniel, who is one of the bright young Noahides. He had a question about Gematria and some doubts about it. And so I'm going to try to use this video to give some evidence over which would suggest that there's something to it. And the topic will be the Nephilim here. So the best thing to do if you really want to understand a topic in the Torah is go to the very first place you find it. And you can find the Nephilim for the first time here in Genesis 6:4. And you'll see them right here. It's good to have a look at the form of the Hebrew word. It was then and later too that the Nephilim appeared on the earth, or in the earth. This could be translated many ways. When the B'nai Ha-Elohim, so the children of these judges or elites, it says here the divine beings, but I don't particularly agree with that translation, and there are reasons why. When they cohabited with the daughters of men who bore them offspring, these were the heroes or mighty ones of old, these men of renown or devastation, or it's interesting to me that this could easily, if you stripped away the vowels and just looked at it, it's like Hashem or the name. It's kind of interesting to me. But it's even better to go and find the first time the root of the word is found, which is in Genesis 4:6. And the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you distressed, and why is your face fallen?" As you can see here, the root for Nephilim is fallen. And you can see there's a connection to Cain here. And we'll get into that. So Bereshit Rabbah is a midrashic text, and it says that the Nephilim go by 7 different names, and then it lists them all here. So let's learn about this link between the Nephilim and the Cainites. I'm going to do a little bit of reading here from Legends of the Jews. Unlike Ishtar, the pious maiden, Naamah, the lovely sister of Tubal-Cain, led the angels astray with her beauty. Interestingly, Naamah is also the name of Noah's wife. Some say that Noah married Tubal-Cain's sister. So led the angels astray with her beauty, and from her union with Shamdan sprang the devil Asmodeus. She was as shameless as all the other descendants of Cain, and as prone to bestial indulgences. Cainite women and Cainite men alike were in the habit of walking abroad naked, and they gave themselves up to every conceivable manner of lewd practices. Of such were the women whose beauty and sensual charms tempted the angels from the path of virtue. The angels, on the other hand, no sooner had they rebelled against God and descended to earth than they lost their transcendental qualities and were invested with sublunary bodies, so that a union with the daughters of men became possible. The offspring of these alliances between angels and Cainite women were the giants, known for their strength and their sinfulness, as their very name, the Emim, or Amim, indicates they inspired fear. They have many other names. Sometimes they go by the name Rephaim, because one glance at them made one's heart grow weak. Or by the name Gibborim, simply giants or like mighty ones, because their size was so enormous that their thigh measured 18 ells. Or by the name Samsumim, because they were great masters in war. Or by the name Anakim, because they touched the sun with their neck. And Anak is the name of a giant. So this is like giants. Or by the name Ivim, because like the snake, they could judge the qualities of the soil. Or ores made from metal, ores from the soil. Or finally by the name Nephilim, because bringing the world to its fall, they themselves fell. And here's an interesting story about Solomon and these cainites. There's many different forms of cainites. After his ascension to the throne, a peculiar quarrel among heirs was brought before Solomon for adjudication. Asmodeus, the king of the demons, once said to Solomon, "You are the wisest of men, yet I shall show you something that you've never seen." Thereupon Asmodeus stuck his finger in the ground. Like we said, the Nephilim are in the ground, or in the earth, and up came a double-headed man. He was one of the cainites who live underground, and are altogether different in nature and habit from the denizens of the upper world. When the cainite wanted to descend to his dwelling place again, it appeared that he could not return there. Not even Asmodeus could bring the thing about, so he remained on earth, took unto himself a wife, and begot 7 sons, one of whom resembled his father in having 2 heads. When the cainite died, a dispute broke out among his descendants as how the property was to be divided. The double-headed son claimed 2 portions. Both Solomon and the Sanhedrin were at a loss. They could not discover a precedent to guide them. Then Solomon prayed to God, "O Lord of all, when you did appear to me in Gibeon and did give me leave to ask a gift of thee, I desired neither silver or gold, but only wisdom, that I might be able to judge men in justice." God heard his prayer. When the sons of the Cainite again came before Solomon, he poured hot water on one of the heads of the double-headed monster, whereupon both heads flinched and both mouths cried out, "We are dying, we are dying. But we are but one, not 2. Solomon decided that the double-headed son was, after all, only a single being. It's a very interesting little tale there. So now we'll get into the Gematria, which matches up the Cainites, who in the Torah would be descendants of Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses. Cainites can mean those directly of the line of Cain, or from the place called Cain, or a reincarnation of the Cainite soul. So here is the Cainites in Hebrew. You can see that it is a match in Gematria in number value to the Nephilim. So not only in the sources, but in Gematria as well. They are a perfect match, 215. And it's a perfect match because they both have this letter He in front, which is the. So anytime it would be considered a clean, perfect match. You don't have to adjust anything. And it's very interesting to me that if you take the Nephilim and use the Atbash cipher on it, which would be to substitute letters. So you would substitute this He with this Tzadik here. And so on. So the Atbash cipher, anytime there would be an Aleph, you would substitute a Tav. Anytime there would be a Beit, you would substitute a Shin. So in English, anytime there's an A, you substitute a Z or a Z. Every time there's a B, you would substitute a Y. So when you do this, it gives you a new form, which comes out to 175, which is the value of the cainite. So let's look at this again. In normal Gematria, the Nephilim and the cainites both have the same value. If you use the Atbash cipher on the Nephilim and substitute it in, it then has the same value as the cainite, singular. So in normal Gematria and in Atbash, there is an undeniable connection here, which really, since you're honestly just turning the Hebrew alphabet 180 degrees, probably shouldn't be happening. It would be considered an amazing coincidence for sure. So this is a verse that we were going to study. I've done some videos on the weirdness of it. I'll go over some of that now and add some new stuff. So this is from Numbers 13:33, and this is the incident with the spies. We saw the Nephilim there. The Bnei Anak, or the children of the giant, children of Anak, are part of the Nephilim. So I've pointed out to many people, and no one's been able to figure it out yet, that there's two spellings here of the Nephilim, or Nephilim, or Nephilim. You can see here that there's an extra yud, which changes their value. So otherwise they would have the same value, but this extra yud adds 10 to this word. You can see that it's not present here. Now, why would God put two spellings of the same word, or what we think is the same word, in the same verse? That's kind of odd. So it's also interesting, if you take the one spelling of the Nephilim, it has the same Gematria, or same value as the giant. So the connections keep just adding up. Then if you take the one spelling of the Nephilim, the normal one without the extra yud, and use Atbash on it, you get this. This is all of the letter substitutions. Now check this out. This is what that verse looks like if you use Atbash on the entire verse. Watch this. Watch what this form of Nephilim is a match for now. Incredibly, when you use Atbash, the two are a match. So this one with the extra yud now has the same value as the one without the yud. Again, something that just should not be happening, but it's there before our eyes. It's also interesting to me that we know the Cainites are the Nephilim, and if you take this form of the Nephilim, it has the same value as the Heberites, which is perfect because we know that Heber is one of Jethro's names, and Heber is the name of one of his descendants, Heber the Cainite. So again, we have the Nephilim being a match for the Heberites, those from Heber, and here we have the only here I guess we just have in Judges 4, Heber the Cainite. Very interesting. So a Cainite Nephilim link there in Gematria. Now check this out. Not only is Gematria significant, the sages were known as counters. They counted things. They were obsessed with statistics, actually. And I don't know why more people aren't doing this now. It's very odd to me. But watch this. So we have Heber the Cainite, right? Heber. I'm going to punch it in here. So it's Het, Beit, Resh. And now this program is going to find every single instance where these three letters are touching each other in this order. So it will find every single instance of chet, bet, resh in the entire Hebrew Bible. And we're going to search the whole text. And this will be done with no spaces. It's going to take out all the spaces in the entire text. So we're looking for the name or this form of hever. Watch this. Check out the search results. 175 results. First found in Genesis 4, which of course is the chapter of Cain. But check it out, 175. And we said that this is the name Heber for Heber the Cainite. 175 matches in the entire Hebrew Bible. Interestingly, 175 is the value of the Cainite. That, again, should not be happening. It shouldn't be a real result, and yet it is. So you can see there's even a link between statistics and Gematria. It's something that I kind of figured out. I haven't seen anybody else do this type of thing, but I'll give you another example of it. If you search for text now, and we're only going to search the 5 books of Moses. So you can see I only have the 5 books checked off. And we're going to search now for Mem Shin He. This is how you'd spell the name Moshe or Moses. Let's see how many times you can find this form in the Torah itself. So you can find Mem Shin He, which has the value 345, 616 times in the entire Torah. 616 just happens to be the value of HaTorah, the Torah. And who was the Torah given through? Moses. Interestingly, we get, just to tie this all together with the Cainites, we said that Yitro was the main Cainite, the father-in-law of Moses, Jethro, and actually we get the Torah in Parashat Yitro, the Torah portion named after Yitro, and it just so happens that HaTorah and Yitro both have the same value, 616.